2020 comes around, pandemic, you're married to Steve, Aggressively Human is the book. What came first, Steve's thinking of writing a book or your interest in writing and going down that creative path?
So this actually was post-pandemic.
Okay.
Life had, as we, resumed to normal, but that was kind of and for many people, I think it was a point in time where it was like, okay, am I on the short and things can happen? We go next. Do I want to, stay in the investment world, be with Capital Group, or do I want to try something entirely different? And so it really was me. So I kid you not, this sounds very flippant, but one night I said, why don't I try writing your story? Because you have a fascinating story. And we literally started the next morning, which is both of our personalities. Like I said, I don't overthink it. I just start and figure it out as I go. And frankly, I'm glad as if I had started with the end in mind and knowing how publishing works and learning the business of publishing. So sometimes being naive can really serve you. I didn't see any impediment. So we just started the process where he would share stories. He'd sometimes especially not coming from the world of football, was looking at someone whose job was to be hyper aggressive, hyper masculine, and the most significantly, I guess you could say, toxic way where, it's just all that aggression. How someone could do that and then kind of live a basic life. To me, we were at the time, masculinity was a real talking kind of struggle, and we saw every end of the spectrum. We saw, men wearing curls and skirts, and then we saw the hyper kind of. So to me, I saw these pendulum things going on as representative of, as a society or culture, was trying to struggle with this. Like, what does it mean to be a man? As women, they want a man who can be both aggressive and gentle. And that's a tall order, right? To expect a man to just navigate, know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And so what I saw in Steve and what I thought was fascinating is a man who professionally had to be something that his nature was not. And so because I didn't know much about football, I really had, because I know him so well as my husband, I was able to my analytical nature, digging in and understanding his psychology was really kind of a driving reason for me to do the book. Now, at the time, his thought around it should just be about masculinity story. But when you start writing a book, you start realizing there's like a thematic spine to it that starts to emerge. And sometimes you only see it until after you've written it. And sometimes you start with it in mind. Everybody's different. But with Steve's, I had it in the back of my mind and then proceed as we kind of wrote the story. It's like, okay, kind of see where you're coming from. And so that book, we finished it. Okay, I'm done. Had no idea where you go from there. And so learned the process, ultimately found a great publisher. And through doing that book, Cowboys, the Colts, and the Raiders, the last 7 were with the Raiders in Los Angeles Union, where Todd Marinovich, who was Steve's quarterback for, it was the 91 season and 92 season, was there. And he had been told countless times to write his story. And he really he never felt like that was something he wanted to do. Steve said, hey, talk to Lizzy about it. Let's, just kind of be open to it. And he was. And then we started the process. And that was an incredible journey of working on a book with someone who wasn't your intimate partner, right?
Right.
For Todd to actually reveal himself in such an intimate way to someone who, is a step removed, right? I'm still Raiders family, but I am not his family, right? So it was an entirely different process, but a great experience. And we had a great agent and great, it's not done in terms of the marketing. We're still in it. But during that process, I was writing my own story on the side.